Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Billabong Zero Pro zip-free wetsuit or zipperless wetsuit for winter 2014 into 2015. So the whole sort of zip-free technology is really gaining momentum with all the different companies bringing one out for last winter, some of the companies, and then catching up in summer. And then this winter is seeing the introduction of a few zip-free wetsuits from various manufacturers. Of which the two sort of biggest ones leading the way are Billabong and Ripco, really. O'Neill haven't really sort of jumped on the bandwagon yet, as usually they think of their own stuff. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever do sort of bring out a zip-free suit, but at the moment the guys really sort of like spending a lot of time innovating this technology have been Billabong and Ripco. But Billabong were actually the first to do it many years ago anyway, so they're just sort of pulling a few old tricks out of their locker basically. And they bring it in with the new suits. There's a lot of changes for this year's suits from Billabong. I do think they look really nice. It's always nice to have a bit of innovation. So this particular suit is the Zero Pro. It's a 5'4", which basically means the thickness of the neoprene. So you've got 5mm on the lower body, running through the sort of centre seam from here down, and then 4mm on the upper body. Most of the suits these days are 5'4", and that's pretty much the same with most of the companies, and the idea being that the neoprene is so soft and flexible these days that you only need 4mm on the upper body. The extra warmth helps, but also because it's easier to join up 5mm with 4mm rather than 5, 4 into 3 then as well. I think actually basically it's probably a bit cheaper to reproduce the suit, so it makes a bit more sense. So yeah, it's a 5'4". This particular suit then is all about flexibility and performance. Okay, so a really sort of stripped down wetsuit, minimal seams, really good quality neoprene, but one thing they do chuck in there as well is a bit of thermal lining to make sure that it's nice and warm. I really like the suit. I think it feels fantastic. I think it will feel really good in the water, and if we have a winter like last year, like we did in the UK, it wasn't too cold, this would be ideal, perfect. So yeah, big fan of this suit. One thing that you have got, a major change with this particular suit as well as the zipperless technology, which I'll run through with you in a second, is the new Zero Foam. The new Zero Foam is the new neoprene from Billabong to rival the likes of the Techno Butter from O'Neill and the E4 from Ripco, and basically the idea is there's more oxygen or more air inside the actual neoprene. So there's more bubbles inside the air, the neoprene, which makes it more flexible, more lightweight, and the suit does feel incredibly light, but also it insulates you better, so it'll actually keep you warmer, because all of those little bubbles will trap warm air as it leaves your body and keep you warmer. So yeah, definitely a bonus, and it does feel fantastically light, this suit, so I do like that. And the jersey over the top is very soft and flexible as well. So yeah, a lovely looking wetsuit, really stripped down, nice and basic, really subtle. And all of the seams on the suit are pre-bent, make sure that it doesn't affect the flexibility of the suit, so all curved to match the shapes of the body, and no restriction from the seams at all. Hardly any panelling on the suit, so you don't get that smooth mesh on the front or the back. They drop that out of the suit to promote more flexibility, because that big panel in the middle and around the back is great for keeping out wind, but it will affect the performance and the flexibility of the suit, which is really sort of what the suit's all about. So they lose that in favour of more flex. Okay, so it might be a bit more wind penetration in this suit, but having said that, with the thermal lining, that should be kept to a minimum anyway. So minimal panelling on the suit, and then you've got this nice sort of cross pattern on the back, which is nice. Just basically means that the seam is sort of arced up to the top here, on the top and the bottom, which promotes kind of four-way stretch. So as you're leaning forward and backwards, straight seam is going to restrict you, whereas this is going to sort of give you more flexibility. So it's a nice little touch, and then you don't get a seam over the bum, which never feels good either. Okay, you get the Duraflex knee pads on the knee. Make sure that it doesn't wear through on the knee. It's puffed out as well, and they sort of lock the knee in, and they feel really good. And just to sort of really help that as well, you get the embossed back of the leg as there as well, which is basically going to create a bit of a better sort of movement within the back of the knee as well. So it's a nice little touch. Okay, so that's everything that's kind of going on the outside of the suit. You've got the new neoprene, you've got the minimal seams on the suit, and so it's all looking good in terms of flexibility. And then what they've chucked in as well is the zip-free technology. Now, for those of you thinking this will be a nightmare to get in and out of, it does take a bit of getting used to, because obviously you can't open the whole top of the wetsuit up like you can with a traditional chest zip wetsuit and get in through the top. It's a bit more sort of intimidating looking at the place you've got to get in. But having said that, with the amount of flexibility in the suit and its way it's designed, I didn't find it too bad. After a couple of goes, it's pretty much straightforward. Okay, so the chest entry system on the zip-free Billabong Zero Pro. Okay, so basically you've got this nice thin lightweight collar. It's a single lined collar with a sort of tapered edge to make it nice and smooth and really comfortable against your neck. Downside of this particular neck piece, although it's very comfortable, dipped under the Adam's apple, very comfortable and doesn't constrict your neck at all. The sort of downside of that is if you get sort of come off at speed, or if you duck dive quite a lot of white water, then you might be a bit more prone to a flush through than a suit that is nice and tight around your neck. So sort of bear that in mind, but for people that hate having that sort of tight feeling around the neck, this is ideal. So the actual suit itself is the Dry Max entry. Okay, so it's slightly different to a lot of chest zips. Now what I mean by that, the inside of the suit is always brought up very high in chest zip wetsuits, then the actual chest panel is sewn over the top, and it creates a seal on the side, which basically goes down here. You've got that smooth skin just to promote that, stop any water flushing through, and you usually get a toggle as well, which will just allow you to fasten it. Okay, and then the inside of the wetsuit is brought up nice and high, so any water that comes in through the chest is drained out through the side and through drain holes around the back. Difference with the Billabong one, makes it a little bit harder to get in and out of, but really keeps the water out well, is over the top of the standard sort of entry, you get this collar, and this is the Dry Max entry. Okay, now so you open it up standard like you would do with a normal chest zip, two pieces of neoprene together, pull them nice and wide, turn it inside out, get into the suit, and then get it up and over your head, the first piece like this, which is basically like a collar, like the bat wing, like a reverse bat wing system. Okay, and that creates a nice little seal the whole way around your body, and then effectively it's almost like a normal wetsuit. And then over the top of that, you then pull the zip-free entry up and over your head. Okay, and then you're fully locked in. With the collar underneath, the smooth skin lining creates another bond with the inside of the collar here, and you've got a wetsuit which is going to be seriously good at keeping out water. And that's pretty much the chest entry system. It does dip nice and low, so it gives you a nice wide area to get in, and it's diagonally done, so it gives you plenty of room to open up the wetsuit and get inside. So it is a little bit intimidating in terms of getting in and out of it, but once you've got the hang of it, it's not too bad at all. So what I'm going to do now is turn this puppy inside out. So you turn it inside, you've got the Dry Max entry system here, which should come back and up and over your head, and then effectively you'd get out of the wetsuit as standard. Now, the Xero Pro, as I said before, is kind of a performance wetsuit, but having said that, it has still got a lot of thermal and insulating properties. So, with this particular suit, with this particular sort of brand of suit, Billabong, you get the quick dry material, which is similar to the Flash Bomb and similar to the Seaskins wetsuit, but it's a slightly different design on it. I'll run you through that in a second. Now, first thing you'll see is all this sort of grey material. That's the Xero foam. So it's the really lightweight neoprene, full of air, nice and comfortable, really soft to the touch. Now on the inside of the suit, most of the suit has got that liquid taping on the inside, which is a very robust and effective way to keep water out of the wetsuit and give the suit a longer shelf life by protecting the seams. Okay. Over the areas with the sort of like polypro, that purple material, you get a standard taping because it bonds better with the furry stuff. That furry stuff runs through the whole panel of the suit, and it's a back chrome polypro, so it's nice and fluffy. Very good at insulating you, stops any heat leaving your body. So that coupled with the Xero foam, this will be a very warm wetsuit. And then you've also got these grooves cut down here to wick water away through these little channels and allow the polypro to do its job, pull water out of the fabric and dry quickly. And this suit should actually dry in about 15 minutes on these areas. Okay, so nice little touch. And the new Xero foam should dry quicker as well because there's more air in the suit, so it should promote that quicker drying as well. You get the liquid taping all the way through the arms and everything like that, so it should be a very robust suit that will last a long time. So a lot of nice touches and everything's kind of thought about with this particular suit. So if you're after a suit that's very sort of lightweight, flexible, good thermal properties, and then this is always definitely be a good one to go for. And obviously with the benefit of that zip-free technology, it's definitely a winner.